The Kansas City Stars are back in action this weekend to take on the Rockhurst Hawklets. A conversation with Stars forwards Truett, Speicher, and Justin Schutzler, and a special announcement on this episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. I am your host, Rob Plamondon. Thanks for watching. Before I begin, just a few reminders. Hit that like button below. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Turn on notifications and let us know what you think in the comments below. Also, if you're not subscribed to Kansas City Stars social media, I'll put links to the Stars Facebook page, the Instagram page, as well as the link to X, formerly known as Twitter, so you can follow the Stars on social media. Well, the Stars are back in action this weekend for a couple of games against the Rockhurst Hawklets. Games this weekend, Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Blue Hawk facility down in South Overland Park, and I'm actually kind of looking forward. I have not been there, so looking forward to seeing that facility for the first time. And they'll be back at the KC Ice Center on Sunday morning at 11:20 a.m. for a game that will be hosted on the pavilion side, or what they call KC Ice Center West, on Sunday morning. So an opportunity to see action on that side of the KC Ice Center facility. Rockhurst, a much different team than last year. Team last year that won 8 games, lost 13, and tied 1. That was good enough for 8th place in the league standings. This year, however, off to an 0-8 start. Now, for statistics, I only have the stats through 6 games since the last 2 games. The 2 games against Wichita have not been posted on the league website just yet. But this is a team that lost a lot of production from last year's team. In fact, only 9 of last year's players are on this year's roster, and that includes losing their top 3 scorers, Michael Torlina, Hayden Holmes, and Tracy Jarvis, who accounted for 40 of the 70 Rockhurst goals from a year ago. And if you look at the 11 players that are no longer on the roster, they accounted for 49 of 70 goals, or 70% of the Rockhurst offensive production. So they've lost a lot, certainly on offense, and lost a lot of talent. So a lot of young players from last year's JV team, and probably new players that are new to the program on this year's roster. So far this year, through 6 games, Arthur Finn, who was who had 11 points last year, he was one of their top 5 scorers, along with Ben Holinsky. Finn so far this year, 2 goals and 2 assists. Jonathan Greco, who's a returning player, has 3 goals so far this year. And Riley Teven, Connor Cowan, and Carson Kress with 2 points each. Teven and Cowan are also returning players from last year. The other player who was one of their leading scorers, Ben Holinsky, he's struggled this year, only 1 assist through 6 games. He actually only played in 4 games so far this year, but certainly not at the production level he had a year ago. So they're going to need a lot of their younger players to step up if they expect to win here. Certainly playing a team like the Stars this weekend. Only 4 of their players so far this year have scored goals. So again, just really need other players to step up and help them offensively. On the defensive end of the ice, both of their goalies return. Roy Postlethwaite, who's their primary starter, along with Edward Houlihan. Last year, Postlethwaite started 20 of 22 games with a fairly average goals against average of 3.55 and an .870 save percentage. However, having watched him play, I don't think the statistics really are indicative of just how good he can be. Certainly in the games that the Stars played against Rockhurst last year, he made some outstanding saves, moves well between the pipes, does good at coming out and making the net appear small to the shooter. Not real big in size, but he certainly does a good job of making himself appear larger by cutting down the angles, coming out of the crease when he needs to. He just doesn't get a lot of help in front of him. And I think that's the biggest thing. He has to face a lot of odd man rushes, a lot of breakaways, and certainly most of the action tends to be in the Rockhurst end of the ice. Houlihan last year appeared in 3 games, with a 3.98 goals against average. So far this year, Postlethwaite has started all 6 of the Rockhurst games with the goals against average of just slightly above 6 and a 780 save percentage. Houlihan has appeared in 2 games. So far, only 17 minutes of play. Again, I don't think the stats are indicative of the type of goalie that Postlethwaite is, and he can certainly keep Rockhurst in the game. So I think if the Stars do the things they need to do, they should be able to come out with a couple of wins this weekend. Keep the puck in front of them. Play disciplined hockey. Don't turn it over in front of your own net. Put the puck on goal. Crash the net. If they do that, I think they will have success this weekend against Rockhurst. But again, you don't want to look past them because Postlethwaite has the ability to keep them in the games, and sometimes that's all it takes, and you get a goal the other way, and the game can turn quickly. But I think if the Stars play the type of game that they're capable of playing, they should be able to come out with a couple of wins. JV teams are also in action this weekend. Saturday, JV1 will be hosting the KC Knights JV1 on Saturday night. And then Sunday, an intra-Stars game, I should say. The Stars JV1 will be playing the Stars JV2. JV2 on Friday will be hosting the KC Knights JV1 at KC Ice Center, and then Sunday the aforementioned game against the KC Stars JV1. That's a 1 p.m. face-off. And JV3 will be headed down to Springfield to take on the Springfield Spirit for a couple of games. Up next, I sit down with Stars forwards Justin Schutzler and Truett Speicher on the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast. And I'm now joined by Stars forwards Justin Schutzler and Truett Speicher. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Great. All right, well, hey, first of all, welcome back. Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was fun. Family went up to Branson, had a lot of fun up there.
Excellent. Was it you didn't come to the ice or anything? A couple days off the ice?
Nope. It felt good, but, you always miss it a little bit.
So. Sure. All right, well, hey, coming off a couple of nice wins against Oklahoma City, a couple days off for rest, and now you got Rockhurst coming up this weekend. What are your thoughts on Rockhurst and what's going to take for the team to get a couple of wins?
I don't think we should overlook them because last year we overlooked them a little bit and we ended up tying and losing a couple games. So I think we just treat it like any other team and just go in and try and win and play our best.
Yeah. Sure, your thoughts?
Yeah, so, I've heard they've been kind of struggling this year. They got a lot of new players, but we've struggled playing against them. So I think we just have to come out, play our game, and be ready. And we have 2 very winnable games this weekend. Yeah.
Well, one of the areas, they got a lot of new players, but one of the areas they do have experiences as a goaltender. And Roy Postlethwaite, he's a pretty good goalie. What do you got to do to get the puck past him?
Shoot. Get pucks to the net. Pucks to the net lead to good things, and they'll find the back of the net the more you shoot.
Yeah. So you're a month into the season now. What do you see as the team's strengths so far, and where do you still need to improve?
I think our strength is definitely offense because we've been scoring a lot more goals this season than we have last season. Mm-hmm. And on the flip side, it's weak is definitely defense because we're also allowing a lot more goals than we have last season. And I feel like if we get better at defense, then we'll be a good team because if we score 5 or 4, I think we can win most of the games we play.
I think our back check needs a little bit more. We have quite a few people who will do it partially but then kind of give up, and we just need to go all the way. But we always come out in the third period ready to fight. It's what I admire about these boys is they never give up. They just keep fighting.
Absolutely. So as you think about your years as playing hockey, is there a moment or two or a moment or something that stands out in your career that kind of is a highlight?
I don't know. It's tough, but I'll probably have to say my first ever game. It's just fell in love with it from that day. Had a hat trick, I think, on my first ever game. So, yeah, it's just I remember that day, just the moment I fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
I think my memory is going last year as a freshman up to Chicago and scoring in the first game we played. But then I broke my hand and I was out for the season. But just the memory of Chicago and that goal was the best.
Yeah, I remember it being cold. And last question, do you have a favorite NHL team, and who's your favorite hockey player?
I don't really have a favorite, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick the Oilers, and I'd pick Connor McDavid.
My favorite team is the St. Louis Blues because closest to us, kind of the team I started to follow. It made me be like, that sport looks fun.
Yeah.
So, and then favorite player, it's tough, but I'd probably have to say like Braden Shen or Jordan Kyrou. They're just fun to watch, selfless players. So try to play like them.
Well, guys, thanks a lot for joining us today, and best of luck on the rest of the season, and look forward to having you on another time.
Yeah, thanks for having
us.
Thanks,
Dustin. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Before I wrap up this episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast, just a couple of quick notes here. First of all, I want to thank our sponsor this week, the Asplin Tree Experts, for their support of Kansas City Stars hockey. Also, if you can't make it out to the games this weekend, we will be streaming them live on the Kansas City Stars YouTube channel. And now for the special announcement, the 4th annual Kansas City Stars alumni game will be held Thursday, December 26th at 2:15 p.m., the day after Christmas. More information will be coming out here in the next couple of days. If you haven't already gotten the email, I hope to also have a conversation with Stars coach Mike Zabilski here hopefully next week to share more information about this fun event, a great opportunity for Kansas City Stars alumni to come out and have a chance to get back on the ice with some of the current players, and usually a great time. Well, thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you again on another episode of the Kansas City Stars High School Hockey Podcast.